Well, I've chosen a second in command, and his name is Brent Moody, and I think I'll just let him talk for himself.
Brent, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm 64. I've been married for 44 years. I am currently working on the North Slope of Alaska for a contractor with BP Oil as a armed agent and medic. Been doing that for the last almost 8 years since I returned from Iraq. I was there for 2 years as a field medic and instructor. Prior to that, I was in law enforcement for 36 years. Chief of police of 3 different cities in Alaska, and I also ran the Village Public Safety Officer program for an Indian tribe in Alaska. Went to college for a couple years, studying law enforcement and sociology. We live in Pahrump. We've lived here since 2011, and we really love it here. And I have 4 granddaughters and 1 great-grandson. So.
And your son's a lieutenant with Pahrump Valley Farm Rescue?
Yes, he is.
And tell me how you guys got together and why you decided to choose Brent.
Well, we got to talking, and our values are very close. Our backgrounds are pretty close. I have an emergency management background and also a law enforcement background, and so does he. But we have had various conversations, and we've come to the conclusion that together we can make Pahrump a better place to live, and the Nye County Sheriff's Office, we can make it, everybody's proud of the Sheriff's Office.
What values do you guys have in common?
Well, I truly believe that we both agree that the citizens of a community pay for police services, or for that matter, any government services, in advance through taxes. And they deserve to be treated with total respect and professionalism. And professionalism means just what it is, as far as responding to a problem, dealing with it in an appropriate manner, letting the people know what's going on. Nothing's more frustrating than somebody to file a complaint and not hear what's happened to the fact that they reported it. So I think that we're looking to try to improve that aspect and to let the people know that the agency cares.
How will you be able to do that on an everyday basis, make sure that the officers are doing follow-ups and making sure that they're getting a little bit more customer service?
Well, any good management team does spot checks. You check your people on a regular basis. That means you've got to be out in the field with them. And they don't need to know when you're coming by to see how they're doing.
And so when we talk about the administrative aspect of the Nye County Sheriff's Office, in the everyday operations, will you be more hands-on?
Absolutely. We're going to standardize the department. The north and south will have the same type of paperwork, do the same job, and we'll make sure that both ends of the county have adequate law enforcement.
How will you be able to deal with the budget with the county commissioners, because there's been a lot of cutbacks?
You know, the budget is nothing more than a living document. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that budget, we're going to take a look at the last 3 years. We'll do projections from the average of that last 3 years, and then we'll start plugging in our budget on a regular month-by-month basis. And then that budget, we can adjust that budget as we go, because being a law enforcement, we're a response organization. And a response organization is not that hard to determine how many emergencies you're going to have during the year. That should have been picked up when you do your 3-year, what am I trying to say?
Evaluation.
Yeah. When you reach the point where your special projects, your special events like we're having now, and your emergencies tilt the budget then we can go to the county commissioners with hard facts and say, look, this is why this is happening. Because over the last 3 years, we've only had 3 to 5 real emergencies where it's taken us out of our budget.
What kind of administrative or budget experience do you guys have?
Well, let's see. I've been in charge of a budget for at least 9 projects, and emergency management, security awareness, operations security, facility security, and a protective force.
So I know that there's been some talk about you maybe avoiding debates or not avoiding debates. I know you put some dates out there on what you would like to do with that. As far as communications, because a big part of being an administrator is communicating with the public, sometimes through the media and stuff. Will you, both of you, be really open to getting the information out there via the media or out to the public as far as that's concerned, and being able to be open for communication?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I have no problem meeting with the media. I think that any agency that stands back and acts very closed-mouthed about issues does nothing more than generate that many more problems for themselves. So I'd rather at times, sometimes the truth stings. I'd rather get it out and get it over with and get it said. I think it adds to credibility, and it also eases the mind that there isn't any kind of cover-up type of issue.
Tell me about what your feelings are for Pahrump, because you've obviously been here visiting and been in a lot of connection with the town since you have a child here.
Well, I love Pahrump. I mean, I love my home. I love my neighborhood, and I just enjoy all the luxuries that I can have in Pahrump, because after 30 years in Alaska, most of the time in fairly remote areas. I mean, this is heaven for us as far as, access to different, from doctors to social aspects. So I mean, I love it here.
Is there any things that you can identify that you would like to change
in Pahrump? Well, I want to change the sheriff's office. So I mean, I am not here. I'm not starting out with an idea towards anybody or anything. I mean, everybody pretty much stands at ground zero with me, because I don't know anybody. The only person I've ever met has been the other sheriff's candidate, and it was a good contact. It was a decent one.
There's been some kind of separation in a lot of the personnel within the sheriff's office. How would you change that or make that better?
Or which one are you asking?
Either one of you.
Well, morale is a big problem, and I think that when people are treated fairly, it doesn't matter who they are, everybody has the same rules and regulations to go by, morale pretty much takes care of itself. It's called favoritism. When there isn't any, people respond to that.
Yeah, it's been my experience. I'm not afraid of unions, and they have no reason to be afraid of me. And I've been in a union before. I've been a union steward before, and I've been a chief of police of cities that had a union. Unions, in most cases, my experience has been that they develop because of a lack of felt justice, or at least a perception of it, being within the ranks, or sometimes it's about money. But most of the time it's because they're angry about the way they've been treated. And I can assure you that I can disagree with somebody and still respect them. And I hope they'll do the same with me. I want us to work as close as we can for the good of the community. I think right now there's a lot of money being wasted with silly games, and I think it needs to stop. And people move on and be happy with the job that they're doing and look for a good, solid career.
Are you really going to look over that budget and kind of go through it completely?
Absolutely. We're going to do an entire audit of the entire sheriff's office.
And then as far as the debates go, are you still open for those? Or are you going to have the town hall
There's
things?
there's a debate scheduled for October 14th here at the community center.
And so everybody's invited to come on down.
Absolutely.
And for more information about your campaign, do you have a website?
Oh gosh, more information about the campaign. Well, let's see, we're having a meet and greet at your house.
Is the public invited to that?
Well, we only have a certain amount of space. But I mean, if somebody's interested, they can stop in.
Absolutely.
And so is that on your website?
You know, it's not on my website right now. We've actually been sending out invitations and that kind of thing, and it's been word of mouth. So let me put the actual address. We can get that on the website, and everybody's welcome.
Thanks so much.
We have a nice, great big lawn. I think that we can use it. Yeah.
And any other upcoming meet and greets you'll let everybody know, and events before this election?
Not that I can think of here. I'm going to head north here pretty soon.